Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2019 action thriller Trauma Center, a film that is directed by Matt Eskandari and it stars Bruce Willis, Nicky Whelan, and we even get an appearance by Steve Guttenberg. Yes, that's Steve Guttenberg from Police Academy. Right, now this is a film that focuses on Nicky Whelan's character Madison, who essentially witnesses a murder by two crooked cops. She gets wounded in the leg, she gets shot in the leg, so she has to go to the local hospital. The same hospital where she just left her little sister who's had an asthma attack. They can't remove the bullet immediately. Steve Guttenberg is the doctor at this hospital. However, these two crooked cops realise that they've made a mistake. They shot her with their department issued guns, so there is a bullet in her leg that will lead the authorities straight back to them because their ballistics are in the system. So they have to get this bullet and this woman witness taken care of. However, Bruce Willis's character plays Detective Wakes. He's on the trail essentially of these crooked cops who have been taking out his leads and witnesses and all this kind of stuff, and he tries to help Madison from getting killed by these crooked cops. So that's essentially the story that we get here. Now then, what did I think of Trauma Center? Well, it's a pretty generic action film. It's set in Puerto Rico as well, which is odd. It didn't need to be set in Puerto Rico. Maybe they just filmed it there and couldn't be bothered changing the sceneries or something. I don't know. And apart from Nicky Whelan's performance as Madison, everybody else basically is pretty terrible. Steve Guttenberg's barely in the film for 5-10 minutes, if that. Well, not even that. So you can't really comment on his appearance. He's not really in the film. And Bruce Willis, oh my god, I cannot tell you how bad his performance is. It's like this man has forgotten how to act. I'm not kidding, you have to watch this film and see his performance to see just how far his acting levels have dropped. Well, maybe they haven't, because he was pretty good in Glass. He's just completely phoned in, uninspired performance. Timing's completely off, and fair enough, he's not given anything to work with here. This is not a good film, and the writing and the material is not going to inspire him, so therefore don't do it. Give another actor an opportunity, I would suggest. Bruce Willis, he is terrible in this film. The only one who is worth mentioning, like I said, is Nicky Whelan, who puts on quite a good performance, quite an intense performance of this young woman trying to stay alive, being pursued by these two crooked cops, and she has to get pretty resourceful, and at times a little bit like John McClane. She's beaten up to hell, she's got a bullet wound in the leg, and she's got to try and use all the resources available to her to stay alive. And it did remind me a little bit of, you know, the early films of John McClane, how he had to get really resourceful, so the irony wasn't lost on me there. It's laughable at times because these two crooked cops who are trying to get rid of all this evidence that leads to them, their solution to cleaning up after themselves is to go round killing everybody who gets in their way. It's just sloppy and ridiculous and totally unbelievable. And one of the cops, I mean, there's like a memory card that's got some evidence on that shows that they're, you know, guilty and killers, and they've got it, and they lose this memory card, and one of these cops, I mean, you know how big these SD cards are that you put in phones and tablets. They're not. It was that kind of size, and his way of looking for this memory card and determining that it's lost, it's like slapping these two top pockets and saying, "Oh, I can't find it. I must have lost it." Well, if that was you or me, you'd be literally putting your fingers in trying to find it, and in your pockets, because, you know, these things are small. I understand you've got to progress the story on, but it's these levels of realism that will aid in a film like this when other areas are lacking. And I just couldn't understand why they wouldn't remove the bullet. I mean, Steve Guttenberg, who was the doctor, said to Madison, his basic explanation was, we haven't got the resources to remove it, we'll take it out in a couple of days. Really? You're a doctor, you're there right now, do it. It's probably going to take half an hour. Bizarre decisions. So, but I mean, the action's passable. It's reasonably tense at times, this cat and mouse chase thing where these two crooked cops are chasing Madison through the hospital. We also have an appearance, I forgot to mention in this film, of Tito Ortiz, the ex-MMA star, who does nothing. Really, nothing MMA like, put it that way. In fact, you could actually argue he gets his arse handed to him by Madison a few times in this film. So I think I'm going to have to give this film a 4.5 out of 10. It's massively flawed. It's helped along by its believable central performance, but the rest of it is pretty generic, to be honest. So there's nothing that makes this film stand out, and don't watch this film if you are just watching it because you think Bruce Willis is the star and he's going to give a good performance, because he's not the star. He's in it quite a lot, but the star here is Nicky Whelan, who's the main character here, and his performance is very disappointing, to say the least. So that's my review for Trauma Centre. I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching, everybody, and of course I'll see you next time for more reviews on Screen Stars.